Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Woo! Welcome
Let's
back,
go.
traders. How are we doing, guys? God bless
wake up to a
each
little
and
bit
every
and
single
roll
one of
up
you
my
guys.
pen
Hope
up
you're
for
having a
that. It's gonna be
stand-up freaking Sunday. And today we're going to be talking about ticker symbol AMC, baby. And before we get into that, I want to cover some due diligence from my man Adam freaking Aron. So love him or hate him, this man has come with a lot of controversy. But I wanted to cover what he said yesterday, right? So Adam Aron bull posting on Twitter during a weekend is typically very bullish for the stock. And in my eyes, I see nothing else but this man defending his average right now, right? He just purchased a large lump sum, I think of 250,000 shares at around 150, 140, if I'm not mistaken. Fact check me if I'm wrong in the comments. But he says, ending the second quarter on a bang, not a whimper, right? The domestic box office will be up by around 20% versus the same weekend last year. That's freaking phenomenal, right? The quarter should be end at $3 billion industry-wide, perhaps a hair under or over. Clearly the highest quarter two industry number since 2019. Cumulatively, January 1st to June 30th, the domestic box office will end up being around 600 million year over year, with a strong July ahead of us. That number will grow even more soon, right? Hello, Minions, Moana, Odyssey, and Spider-Man. Hallelujah, traders. So something very specific he said there that I think I want to look at, right? January 1st to June 30th, the box office will be up around 600 million year over year. So very, very rarely do you ever see AMC lose more than 600 million in a quarter, because they are cash burning like crazy, right? And even though you saw this man raise, 200 million minus tax on the stock, I believe that AMC is set in a very unique situation right now in which they could potentially pull profit here. Now they're only slated to lose, right? Don't mind this absolutely beautiful chart, up 16%. We'll talk about that in 1 second, guys. But they're only slated to lose a fair amount, right? You look at the earnings expectation, only 5 cents per share is the expectation that comes in August 10th after hours. Hopefully we'll be there live streaming or whatever, right? I think you have a phenomenal opportunity to post a profitable quarter for AMC and freaking smash the expectations going into the next quarter, right? With all of these absolute bangers: Minions, Moana, Odyssey, and Spider-Man. So hallelujah, traders. We're going to be talking about a couple different things on the macro chart before we dive back into what my Monday expectations are. So if you guys are new, right, slap the like button and punch the subscribe button, guys. We're here every single day, not just covering AMC, but also NEO and the broader market, as well as crypto, right? So we're going to jump into AMC here, and we're going to take a little peeky weeky at the monthly freaking chart. So the monthly chart, guys, you have 2 more trading days, right? Let's say that again. You have 2 more trading days in this monthly chart, and you're currently putting in what is a inverted bullish hammer candle. But as you zoom out here, traders, I'm looking at something very specific. I'm looking at the VRVP. And do you guys know what that means, right? The VRVP. It's the visible range and volume profile. This is a phenomenal indicator that I personally use to identify on stocks that I'm going macro long on, or swing trading, right? Depends on how far out you want to look at it. But typically it's macro long, and that is because it gives you where the most volume has been traded. Now, traders, we've talked about this many times. We're going to talk about it again, but I believe you're in a falling wedge on AMC. Now, the macro price targets are kind of bamboozling, right? Because the technical profit target is taking that full length, which is January on top of June and putting it on where you break out. Now, theoretically, that takes you to a profit target of about 100 schmeckles, right? Whether or not that happens, there's so many different resistances in between, but I can tell you, looking at the VRVP right now, where you're going to have your most explosive moves and your most resistance, guys. So look at where my cursor is right now. That's about 433, and that goes up to 566, right? That's where we have this horizontal red trend line drawn. Now, you can use these two things paired with some technical confluence, right? You should expect to see some pretty massive resistance right around that mid-4 territory. Why is that? You have the beginning of your volume bar on the monthly time frame traded there, where you have a significant more amount of shares traded compared to, let's say, 3, right? So if you get above 318, which has been our thesis, you should see this thing absolutely explode until you hit into that mid-4 territory, right? It's not financial advice, but just covering what I see here. Now you have a significant block of volume and then your point of control, guys. This larger volume brick here, that's what you want to call your point of control. So anywhere between this 770 or 750 all the way up to 10 freaking schmeckles, guys. We know covering this stock that $10 is a key level, and it just so happens to line up, right, with multiple monthly closes and wicks, right? The edge of this freaking, that's a burp from this American monster. Shout out America. But the edge of this white brick is where this volume begins to drop off. And you can see the candle closes just so happen to validate your thesis here that $10, the previous all-time low, is going to be one of the most important technical tests of this stock's entire freaking history, right? Look at this test here. This is your previous all-time low. You sprung 289%. Previous all-time low, you sprung almost 1,000%. This you test off of a massive doom candle, and then you reject it. You go down 80%. You reject the point of control. You go down 91%, right? And so every single time you've smashed into this freaking big block of doom, you have seen price action that has been extremely favorable or extremely nasty, and it's just so happens to wick off of it every single time. I believe, right, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do truthfully believe, traders, that you're going to see a test of this point of control at some point in the future, right? Whether that's 3 months or 6 months down the road, I believe your behavior on the stock is changing, right? This is a change in behavior. Already up 205%, about to close 3 green months in a row, traders. You have not done that in AMC in the last almost 10 years, guys. June 2028 is the last time you've closed 1, 2, 3, 4 months in a row, right? That is a significant change in behavior, showing that the stock is not valued correctly at 93 cents, showing that it's extremely oversold, and it's showing that it is showing strength, right? But what we're watching for is a test of that point of control. And just to give you a little macro outlook on why I think you're going to move like this, right? Bam, 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 right? As soon as you see this break, like, I'm so excited. If you can break the point of control, guys, if you can break $13, $14 where this thing rallied during May and June, during that Roaring Kitty squeeze before you dumped, if you could see that broken, traders, this is going to be one of the strongest stocks in the market. And I do not say that just to get you guys hyped. Look at the volume gap here. Look at the volume, the way it drops off after you hit 14. There's a very real reason, traders, why we've seen as soon as you enter this point of control and blast through it, right, that you see a 525% green candle. So you broke $14 here, and you went absolutely bananas because there's no volume to be traded in this pocket, right? So oftentimes when you see price come back into that, you're going to see a very strong reactive move. Vice versa, right? You lost your support here, and it just so happens that you're wicking directly where this significant area to hold is. You're wicking it perfectly, you lose it, and you drop 71%. So it goes both ways. If you enter that here, right, if you break back above 10, 14, this thing is going to spiral, right? Absolutely crazy. And so that's what really gets me jacked. That even if you are not long on the company's fundamentals on the long term, even if you're playing this as a swing play, right? There is a significant opportunity here. If you can see the momentum spiral and snowball and you get past these technical levels, this thing could go absolutely insane. But first, it's going to come with a test of 566, right? Or that 450 territory as you get into this big lump of shares. And if you can see that come to fruition through a record-breaking quarter and some fundamental change here on the company, this thing enters your squeeze territory, guys. This is the end game right here, entering this volume pocket. And so that's why I wanted to cover it on the macro for you guys. And it just so happens to be right around that gap fill. Right? This is all a big gap fill right here. So you have two different things. You have your volume profile significantly steeping down, but you also have technical gaps on the daily time frame, right? You take a zoom out, you take a little peeky weeky on the charts here, and you can see these technical gaps that have been left behind by significant dumps, right? This is a gap at 43.32. This is a gap at 1940, and this is a technical gap, a landmark left from the dump at 1264, traders. So when I say I'm bullish on AMC, if you're able to test 1050 and break above it, that's going to completely 180 everyone's expectations on the stock the same way that you're doing it right now with your technical golden cross, baby. And that is what is most exciting for me going into Monday morning, right? You've reestablished your 200-day EMA and you've closed above it. Now, there is the significant risk that this is a head and shoulders formation. So do be careful, right? Do your own due diligence. But on this channel, we like to cover AMC rippies. And you can see here AMC reacting well after the break of this trend line from the smackdown, right? $3 led to a significant pullback that went to the tune of 43%. You've now swung pretty significantly from that price, and you're about to see what should open up green on Monday is a 9 cross through the 200. Whenever you see this, right, you saw it right here on the 4-hour channel, on the 4-hour candlestick formation, where you saw a 12% move down from this 9-day on the 4-hour crossing through the 200, right? This is a nice swing trade kind of formation here when you have this fake out cross down and you're about to get it the other direction, right? As you test this horizontal resistance at 224 to 222, breaking back into this red candlestick of 18% of the 4-hour, most likely, in my opinion, leads to this thing recovering exactly where you were. What was that? The 23rd of June, right? So I really like this structure. There is the opportunity that you stall out here and reject the 50 and then make a shoulder, head, right shoulder before finding higher price action. But I just want to say, traders, please do your own due diligence, right? Before taking any calls, any swings, and continue to learn more about the stock market. AMC's community has been the absolute best for me coming into the stock market in 2021 to learn more about trading in general. Right? I feel like the unity in the community was like no other, and I want to bring that back. How am I doing it? We're talking about this Discord, right? I want to get as many freaking people jam-packed here as we freaking can before we go into membership trial period because I don't like the bots that join there. We don't want any bots, right? I just want Kyle Jones, my man, Only in Paradise, and a bunch of others that will just want to talk about AMC, trading, swing trades, crypto, right? Whatever you want to bring, memes, right? We have so many good memes in there. You're more than welcome. It's in my description to join for free until the 4th of July. But let's continue covering AMC really quick. What else is in your favor for a green Monday morning, right? You have that touch of bullish divergence on the RSI that you're continuing to see play out here from this technical equal low, right, or slightly lower low, but a significant lower low on the RSI. Now, typically when you've had this happen on AMC, I'll give you a little peeky-weeky at when you had it happen last, and that was, where was that? It was in the 4-hour chart. You had it happen right here. So you had a higher low on the stock, but you had a lower low on the RSI. And so us as traders can see this and say, what the heck, market makers? What the heck? You're saying my stock looks bearish, but it's holding up? Yeah, that means it's going to go higher. Let's draw the arrow, right? Bam. And what did it do? It went higher. So your arrow was correct, right? Same thing happening here. You're getting a touch of hidden bullish divergence. So that's what that is. And then you're seeing it come back into the gap. Whether or not it rejects, if it rejects here, you're getting a big fat head and shoulders, which I would hate, right? I do not want to see this. Get out of here, TradingView. I do not want to see this because that would break my heart. But it's possible, right? It's possible you come down to 105 and you fill all of your technical gaps left from this first run up off of the break of this technical falling wedge that you were in, which, by the way, we covered every step of the way. But when you broke out, you did not really leave any retest. You did not leave any meat on the bone. You just ripped, right? So oftentimes when you have this happen, the stock will come all the way back and then rip, but you really didn't, right? You came back, you filled the first gap that we had here, but you did not fill the one at 112. So 112 is going to be an area to watch next week if you begin to break down and reject 222. I think that makes the most sense here, traders. So I'm still bullish. I don't know about you guys. Right, we have this falling wedge. We have the quarterly MACD about to close, guys. Hopefully green for the first time. In 2 days, we'll see this quarter close, and we will see this come to fruition. Our macro thesis that we've been talking about since back here, right? Back in May, June, July of last year. So absolutely thrilled to see that happen, guys. Absolutely thrilled to see all you guys making money. As always, guys, not financial advice. God bless you and your families. And if you take anything away from this video, take this, right? I do truthfully believe the best is yet to come. Traders, slap the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Let's go. Woo.